Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where I want to look a little bit at our train situation again today. I know we worked on that yesterday and it's better. Oh, hello, that's at least 3 airplanes all in the same location. Okay, I'm gonna go down here and we're gonna pretend that that isn't happening. So, we've got a situation down here that I would like to address. Specifically, we have a jam building up on the rail that is trying to go into this station. Now, we can do a couple of things about that. We can add additional stations, and that's not necessarily a bad idea. But that's not what I want to do first. What I want to do first is we have 2 connections coming in here at 2 different locations that do exactly the same thing. So I want to take this on out of there, and I want to extend this out, not like that, but rather like this. Now that's going to have to go down and underneath, right? How are we going to do that? We could have it come in over here, and then come around and join in over here, something kind of like this. Let's see what that does. Now, this is of course an issue here, and I'm going to get rid of that train for now. And then these will just switch around a bit. But that's not going to fix the overall problem here, which is one of throughput in this cargo train terminal, which is currently being fully utilized for importation. Now that's also creating this situation here, all along this. So I want to think about that for a moment. Where would we want to build another station? And I'm actually thinking up here, in this area. So let's go ahead and put in a cargo train terminal. This will, of course, need to be above ground if we can get above ground from here. Apparently we can't, but we could put this in here. I'm not necessarily sold on that position because of our solar power plant, but we could move that to be perhaps over on this side instead if there's a spot. Yes, there is. Okay, so we can move that over there, and this cargo train terminal would then need to be hooked up over here somehow. Now, we're going to have to avoid this metro area, but that's, I think, okay. So, first things first, we want to have a way to get over here that comes off of this side. So we're going to bring that out like so, and we're going to bring that down further underground, and then we're going to bring that up and over. And we're going to need to have that come up above ground again. So we're going to bring that up 1 here and then try to connect it in like that. Okay, so we have a way to get here. Now we need a way to get out. So let's bring this in over this way and see if there's a way that we can sneak this in underground here. Yes. We're going to need to take this in quite a lot deeper. There we go. So to exit from here, and we're probably going to ultimately want this to be bidirectional, right? At some point. Are we? We might want this to be bidirectional. So we're going to bring this in over this way like so. And then we're going to want to bring it in about like that. Okay, and let's go ahead and make this bidirectional while we're at it. So let's just do that, followed by... I think we missed a bit here. Maybe not. Followed by this. Okay, did we miss any? I don't believe so. Okay, so obviously that's going to potentially create a situation up here, right? Because in order to connect up there, they have to come in here, like that. So, I mean, this is going to be pretty heavily trafficked, I expect. We'll address that a little bit later on. But I'm noticing that our backup over here is going away. That's really, really good to see. I'm very happy about that. And hopefully they'll start pathfinding their way up to this cargo train terminal as well. So we've got some backup over here. And That should be moving reasonably well. Is this exporting instant? Is that what's happening here? Let's watch this for a moment. This train will need to move. There it goes. Are we exporting this? No. Okay, looks good. Well, good-ish. As good as it's going to get for now. Excellent. So these trains are moving, and that is very good to see. We're just going to make sure that this, hopefully, only has so much more that it needs to do, and hopefully doubling this capacity will help tremendously. As far as exporting here goes, it should export on this outer rail, and so that should just have no problem getting out of here. No problem whatsoever. So we do need a little bit of commercial, and we're just going to go in and zone some commercial over here. As far as additional industrial goes, I'm not sure that we actually have much of that we can do. We could maybe devote some areas over here to industrial. I suppose we could. We could put, we could put office up here, actually. The rest of this could be office. Going north. And then this remains residential. Hello, academic year. So we could do something kind of like that. And then our residential would, of course, fill in this area. Wonderful. About like so. Okay. So with that being the case, we still have a worker problem over here, there's no doubt about that, but our goods problem has largely been sorted now that our trains are at least mostly running again. So let's just go check on those trains real quick. And we're also checking for a few other issues over here. What is this issue here? Citizens are sick. Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected, mostly because this is a hard transition here. I'm thinking about... maybe we should rezone any area that is sick to office. So anybody that pops up as sick over here gets rezoned to office to kind of slowly develop that buffer zone over time. That'll work as a policy, I think. Okay, so it'll be something along the lines of that. Let's check in on our trains down here. This looks great, actually. This looks less great. But I'm hoping that this will die down here as this train backlog is dealt with, which it is, at this point, completely dealt with. So this train backlog over here looks good. This over here is ticking along nicely. Yeah, this looks good. So that seems to have cleaned up. This over here is clear. This over here is clear. Have we seen any trains being utilized over here? Well, not yet. And honestly, the traffic over here isn't exactly optimized for it. The roadage. So hopefully it won't cause issues, but I just wanted to spread out this a little bit. We've got some sick citizens over here. And let's just check what our healthcare situation is over here. This is our fire situation. Our healthcare situation over here is not the best I've ever seen. We'll just put that in. Excellent. What about over here? We've got more sick citizens, but honestly it looks pretty decent over here. No, I'm reasonably happy with that. This here, I'm not reasonably happy with. What is the traffic situation here? Is this traffic lighted? Yes, it is. Okay. Well, hopefully this is all still backlog from the train backlog. So I'm going to hope that this evens itself out in the next little while. And the traffic is moving, so I think that'll be okay. Now, a lot of this is coming up this way instead of going up this way, which I don't necessarily like, but a lot of that's because this is going straight to the cargo airport, which is getting a, like, permanently utilized influx of cars here. And you can see here, this is basically permanently spitting out cars as well. But I think that's because there was such a big train backlog. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. So, let's take a look over here. Citizens are sick. We have residential here. Oh, we have residential here. That's a terrible idea. Why did I put residential here? This should clearly be industrial. So let's go ahead and rezone this. I have no idea why residential was put in here. I was just being dumb, I guess. Okay, and then we'll have this be like a small buffer here. We'll put in something like offices there. Okay, we've got a couple of sick people over here, so those will, of course, get replaced. There we go. Something like that. Excellent. Now, we have more commercial demand, and we have a power issue up here. But we also have a water issue over here, which makes me think that this is actually a water issue on our solar updraft towers. And that is correct. That's exactly what's happening over here. So, are we just not supplying enough water? I'm guessing that's the case. Let's go ahead and put this in. This is a separate water grid up here, of course, so this isn't necessarily correct. So let's put in that water, and let's see if that fixes our power problem. Yes, it does. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Looks like our trains are at this point fully under control, and we have stopped the outflow from this cargo train terminal, and this is clearing up. Perfect. I mean, there's still the influx here, don't get me wrong. We should be exporting from here, should we not? I would think there'd be enough to put in a cargo train. Maybe for some reason this doesn't connect? For outgoing? But I would think it would. It comes up over this way. Yeah, both of these connect in. Here's a train coming in, but we're not seeing trains coming out. We're seeing cars go in, but trains don't come out. Indeed. Fascinating. I have no idea where that cargo is going, but it's not away. It is absolutely not away. But this is now cleaned up. So that's fantastic. And we are seeing this cargo train terminal also getting utilized. The fact that they're going in there at all makes me think that it is connected, because they're clearly pathfinding a successful outside connection, right? So that should be a thing. Excellent. So let's do ourselves a little bit more over here. Ah, garbage collection. It's been a while since we put in some garbage collection, hasn't it? I mean, the last one that we put in was, of course, a waste transfer facility. Let's put in a second waste transfer facility up here, because I'm guessing we've got some throughput issues on that front. So let's go ahead and make this up here all be residential, of course. About like so. A lot of wasted space here due to the height differential, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. It's okay. And we're definitely running out of space for our commercial facilities up here, so that's definitely something to think about. We can definitely fill in commercial out here on the waterfront, and there's also a couple of squares in here that were missed when we zoned this offices, apparently. So let's get some waterfront commerce going. About like so. Excellent. And you know what? We could just fill in this whole thing. That's something we definitely could do. Just like that. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Let's check for any traffic issues. I haven't seen any in a while. Remarkably, this situation appears to be working through some miracle. This bypass is doing wonders for this circuit. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this so far. Quite pleased indeed. And we're definitely wrapping this up, aren't we? I'm feeling like there's not too much more we can do without a big expansion. And we're kind of out of space for those. I mean, we could build, out here or something, but we're kind of at the point we wanted to reach. We're not quite there yet. I don't think I'm ready to say this is the final episode. I want to make sure that the train situation is solved. I believe that it is. In fact, I think it's pretty clear to say that the train situation is solved. It ain't pretty, but it's solved. And then this over here appears to be good. We're not seeing any issues up here. So I think all we need to do is wait on filling out these last couple of areas over here. Now, we're going to continue to have commercial demand, and as we do, we might start filling in from this way with commercial, and this way with industrial. From this way with residential, and then offices would go over here as we have that demand. I think that's kind of how I'm going to fill out this last circle.
The most valuable camera is the one that you're
I'm also thinking, as of right now, that next episode will be the last episode of this series. Which means I should put up a poll. Assuming I remember to do that, that poll should be up at this point, and you can have your voices heard on what is going to be played next in this slot. I haven't come up with the options yet, obviously. That airplane just clipped through that airplane. Good job. Apparently, we've still got a sickness issue over here. Let's check our health situation. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I'm going to put in a medical clinic right there. Excellent. How are we doing on education? We haven't checked that in a while. We could definitely use a new high school. Let's put one in. And that'll go, say, here. And then elementary schools we're doing okay on. University, I mean, we don't have the capacity, but people are kind of not attending the Island City Institute. Like, we have 2,200 students right now. Granted, we are actually in a good position here. I'm going to move this over to here because we can actually... Disconnected power grids? What? Power issue? I don't see a power issue. Yeah, our power grids are disconnected. That's by design. And we can actually expand our Island City Institute a little bit because we got to Prestige level 5. Now, I would love to put this over this way, but that's not how that works. So where do we want to put this? We could maybe move our auditorium up over here and put our final faculty, the School of Science, down over here. I like it. The Academic Statue 2 was also recently unlocked, apparently. And we can cram that guy in right there. Fantastic. So we have a rank 5 university. And that's as high as it goes. We have up to 9,000 student capacity, but I mean, we technically need more for this city, but people are just not attending here. And I think it's largely because this is disconnected. Oh yeah, we could build a chess club. Sure. Why not? We'll put in a chess club right there. Fantastic. And we'll continue eliminating some of this over here. Oh, what was that just popped up? The media lab. That's what it was. Okay, so let's put in a media lab somewhere over here if we can. We kind of can't put things on the inside of this circle, so that's an issue. Pipeline problems. Water pipe issues? Okay, we'll look into that. Where are we allegedly having a water issue at? I don't see a water issue anywhere. I see a dead people issue up here. And we could definitely work on putting another crematorium over here. I would kind of like to put it... the park there. I would kind of like to put it perhaps over here. That's kind of a terrible location. Maybe instead... here? I mean, that's also kind of terrible, but... there we go. We can definitely do that. I don't see a water issue. Wait. There's the water issue. Fantastic. We'll just run this water line out over like that. Problem solved. Any other water issues out here? Nope. Just connect that in like that, just to make sure. There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, our trains are definitely under control. Our traffic all looks good. Yeah, this looks fantastic. It definitely... ooh, this is maybe a traffic issue here. I believe this is caused by overbusing. Specifically, the fact that these buses are not tremendously spread out yet. But now they're getting spread out, so I think this will be okay. These buses are going to cause a potential backup over this way when situations like this happen. So yeah, this is something that is definitely not tremendously concerning because there's more space for the buses to space out. The question is, will they space out more? I think I'm just going to crank this down to like 20 vehicles instead of 26. And we'll just see how that goes. As far as this line over here goes, this is the same line. So yeah, that should be okay. Hopefully that will cause a little bit less bus congestion over here, because this bus lane is actually only big enough for one bus. If there's 2 or 3 buses, they cause some congestion. So that's definitely something to be concerned about. So we'll let that tick for a little while, see what that ends up doing. I mean, this isn't a tremendous amount of congestion, right? And it's pretty much just the buses. And adjusting that down by 6 buses should, I think, help pretty dramatically once these get a bit more spread out. I think this one is returning to the depot. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So some of these buses are returning to the depot, and others are spreading out along the line. We have a large gap here now, so I think... yeah, we have a pretty large gap in some of these locations. So that should be fine. Fantastic. And with that, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to put the finishing touches on this city. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.